Hey Aquarius, I'm Mimi with Divination by Mimi, and welcome to your March 1st through the 15th, 2017 Tarot and Oracle reading with a little bit of astrology on the side. So we'll start with the astrology. Your ruling planet, well, you have two ruling planets. You have the traditional Saturn, which is in Sagittarius at the moment, which is kind of a curious, expansive energy. And your main ruler is Pluto. No, sorry. Your main ruler is Uranus. Uranus is currently in Aries, which means it takes your normal nature of change, uh, changing the status quo, activism, revolution, taking it to a very fast-paced nth degree. Also, you are in an opposition across the natal chart with Jupiter in Libra, which has to do with justice and relationships, but justice. And in there, Jupiter in Libra, Jupiter is a very expansive energy. So you've got you, which is kind of an unpredictable, let's change things very fast energy in a fast moving constellation of Aries, across from an expansive energy as it relates to justice. So that is making activism, which is right up your alley, stirring things up. It's a perfect it's just a perfect recipe for that, for activism, for change, for revolution. Excuse me, a bit of a cough. Now, in addition to that, astrologically, there's a couple of other things of importance. One is that Venus, the planet of relationships, of value, beauty, aesthetics, but particularly relationships, is going retrograde on Saturday the 4th. She will remain in retrograde until the 15th of April, about 6 weeks, a little bit more. What this means is it's giving you an opportunity. In fact, all of the astrological alignments right now are giving everyone an opportunity, if they'll just relax into the energies, to really analyze life. So with Mercury retrograde, it's giving you an opportunity to look back at previous relationships, whether it's all the way back to childhood or just maybe 5 or 10 years ago, and learning and in other words, learning and reanalyzing how those relationships affected you. What kind of residual energy is stuck with you in your decision making with current relationships? In other words, baggage, right? What kind of baggage are you carrying from your previous relationships? Did someone cheat on you, therefore you don't trust anyone still? So Venus in retrograde is asking you to look back and analyze, okay, discern what serves you still and what doesn't. What can you drop and leave behind, and what can you move on with? Now, something else is conducive to that, which is the full moon in Virgo on the 12th. Also, the North Node in Virgo. The North nodes, just to explain it, the lunar nodes, south and north, have to do with what we came into this incarnation with in the way of strengths and skills, and what we need to learn for our soul's evolution. So collectively, right now, the North Node is in Virgo, meaning there are things on the higher octave of Virgo that we need to take on. And one of those is discerning analysis. That is perfect timing for this Venus retrograde, which will allow you to use logic and rationale, not always emotion, not always passion, but pure logic, which you're used to, Aquarius. Pure logic to look back and make a good, discerning, discriminating decision on what to take with you and what to leave behind. What old beliefs about yourself and about relationships can you drop, and what can you bring forward with you? It will only serve for growth. And as I said earlier, if everyone just relaxes into these energies, the universe is completely supporting these changes. So with the aspects that you have, with your ruling planet, Uranus, being in opposition with Jupiter in the house of relationships, that's conducive to quick changes, as it has to do with relationships, fast-moving quick changes. And that could be directly as a result of the work that you're doing or the analysis that you're doing based on the Venus retrograde on your past. So just relax into it. Do everything with love and compassion and peace in mind, and everything will work out for the best, because it's all for soul's evolution, collectively and individually. And Aquarius, you're very much about the collective. I think astrologically that's all I had talk about. So let's get into the tarot. We are using the universal Rider-Waite, which is just the old Rider-Waite system, same symbols, just been recolored and volume's been added to it by the artist. And then we will use the cartouche for clarification, and if needed, we've got 2 sets of runes if we need it. So the pull I'm doing is a 3-card pull. It is based on the supernal triangle of the Tree of Life. And there's so many trees of life. So if you follow the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, this would represent Hokmah, no, excuse me, this would represent Keter, Hokmah, and Binah. If you follow the Kemetic Tree of Life, then this would represent, for the superconscious, this would represent Amen or Amen-Ra, and Osir or Osiris as the superconscious. And in the conscious mind, it would be Tahuti or Thoth. And then in the subconscious mind, it would be Sekert, who also is like that, the third Sephiroth in Kabbalistic Tree of Life would be Binah. This is the subconscious. So ultimately what we're looking at is the superconscious, conscious mind, and subconscious mind. Okay? I'm just going to do a few more shuffles here. Get some stuff out of the way. Whoa. All right. Superconscious is talking right away. 5 of Swords, defeat. So the superconscious God source, energy, spirit is telling you or communicating to you something to do with a defeat. A defeat, whether it's a shallow defeat or a hard-won defeat. You feel defeated, you've defeated someone else. It's in the upright, so whatever the message is, it's of a positive nature or a helpful nature. Let's get the others. Usually what I'm picking up here is that there are variables based on this defeat. This is what Spirit's saying. So there's a defeat or a victory, depending upon your perspective. There are variables that relate to this. I'm assuming it's the other parties involved, the wind, whether you ate your Wheaties that day or didn't. And those variables count in this defeat or victory, again, depending upon your perspective. Something about the ingredients in a dish, all the things that made up this situation, the variables in the equation. What does that mean? Sorry guys, I'm verbose. Let me just get one more in here, and then we'll get your conscious and subconscious. Oops, cut. All right, on a conscious level, what does Aquarius need to know for March 1st through the 15th, particularly as it relates to soul's growth, Venus retrograde, whatever this 5 of Swords is? Let's see what we got here. Well, we got you and your conscious, and we got this, and we got 2 extras. All right. All right, so for the subconscious mind, you receive the 5 of Swords, which in the Thoth deck is called defeat. Swords represent mental energy, messages, communications. In the conscious mind, we got you. So there's something about you that's on your mind. Some result has come of your efforts, your very nature as an Aquarius, which is the Star card, which is about hope and change. Hope. You see, the thing about Aquarius is you are very much about the self, but not so much about the self, actually, excuse me, more about the collective. So you're always thinking of the other. It's just your nature. That's why you're great activists. It's why you're revolutionaries. Your Star card came in the upright position, which means on your mind is you. You are thinking about your nature. Did you do things for the right reason? And I think you've come to the conclusion, and Spirit has as well, that you have come to the conclusion correctly. You did things right. Whatever this is, you did everything that you could. And Spirit is telling you that this is a defeat, that it could be perceived as a defeat, but it's not. The variables involved in this defeat, i.e. the other participants, the other actors in the play, the other combatants, or the other protagonists in whatever this is, This was not a defeat. And I think you know this. I think you know on a conscious level that this endeavor here, you did your part in it, not only your part in it, the action that you took, but your motivation for the action that you took may appear on the surface as a defeat, but it's not, because you did it from an altruistic perspective. In your subconscious mind, you have work. It's not just work. This is prudence in the Thoth deck, but this is you diligently working away at something. I think you're kind of in a good headspace right now from what I can see. The other bonus cards that popped up, which this kind of speaks to the Venus retrograde energy. This is the Six of Cups, which is about, you know, harmony and balance and looking at our past with loving eyes, looking at those things that were good, that served us. So I think this retrograde is going to be particularly good for you in your growth. And also we received a Queen of Cups in reverse. Queen of Cups is generally a Cancerian energy. The Cancers are the mothers of the zodiac. They are creative, loving, nurturing, giving. Even if they're not being a mother, even if we're not talking about the position or the role of mother, they still take on that nurturing role with their friends, with at work. So these two bonus cards sort of came up as I was pulling for your subconscious mind, which is telling you that you are diligently working away at something that is worthwhile, something that is true to your authentic self, and that whatever this was, Spirit is telling you to let it go. And I think you already have, actually. Keep on working. Keep on working on what it is that you're working toward, on whatever your goal is. Usually it's something altruistic. Excuse me. Keep on working. You're being your authentic self. You're being your true, hopeful, change is about to happen, revolutionary self. This was nothing. Let it go, which I think you have, and keep working diligently. This Cancer in reverse, I think, is possibly you letting go of some, and I think that's why it's speaking here with the Six of Cups. Sixes belong to the Sephirah in the Kabbalistic tree of life of Tifereth, or in the Kemetic tree of life to Heru or Horus, which is basically the sun. It's a Christ-like figure, which is all about, or a Buddhist figure, it's all about balance. It's about harmony, really. Understanding how much is okay to give versus how much is not okay to give. I think Spirit is trying to remind you that, you know, your nature as an Aquarius is to give, 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 give. Sometimes you don't, you definitely fall into and mold into the collective, because that's really what's on your mind is the upliftment of the other. And that is your identity, that's your authentic self, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's reminding you here that there needs to also be, though, a harmonious interchange of love, of relationships. So if you've got people in your life, in your family, and something tells me there's a Cancer energy here, that perhaps you are, I don't want to say that you're shutting them out, but they're trying to offer you their form of love, and either you're not understanding it, you're not taking it, you don't trust them, something. But you're not accepting whatever this love is. These came out together, and these came out in the subconscious. I think you have a fear of this person. This person, if it's not a Cancer, possibly it's another water sign or someone with a mothering nature. They're trying to offer you something. Maybe it's an apology. Maybe it is love, compassion. You're very focused on what Aquarius is usually focused on, which is the upliftment of the collective. But you need to remember that there is a Christ-like balance, a Buddhist-like balance that needs to be kept in check, which is there needs to be an even, natural exchange back and forth of giving love and taking love. Giving love, taking love, okay? And it's easy for you to forget that as you diligently work away, you know, at the next fight, the next war that's coming up as you work for the collective. Usually it's activism, because most of you are atheists. So I doubt it's seriously starting up a church, but it is always about the upliftment of the collective, of the people. of humanity and of other sentient life forms. It's always a very altruistic and righteous thing. So I think what Spirit is trying to tell you is and you already are aware that it's a big battle. It's a long battle. There's going to be, it's a long war. The battle, this past battle, was not the defeat that some might think it is, or that it appears that it is, because there were many variables involved. And that you know this, and that you are still working diligently toward the upliftment, toward whatever this goal is, whatever this war is. And here it's reminding you, as you are working diligently, do not forget yourself. Whoever this person is trying to offer you an exchange, a natural, balanced, harmonious exchange of love. Don't push it away. Accept it. Accept people giving you things. It's okay. All right? I don't think there needs to be any further clarification. I can pull a cartouche, but I just don't really think you need it because these two popped out. Your message is very clear. Your message is very, very clear. Keep up the work. You're on the right track. The war is bigger than the battle, but do not neglect yourself. And, you know, as this Venus retrograde is happening, take a look at a tendency to do that in your past. Have you always given and given and given and never taken anything back? This is kind of the card of previous friendships, relationships, childhood. Did you give and give and give and give, you know, and maybe not take? Whereas someone here is offering you, someone either that is a Cancer or is a Cancer-like attribute that you're experiencing from your perspective, is offering something that you might not be seeing or may not be taking. And Spirit is urging you to not ignore this offer and to look at why you might be ignoring this offer. And a feeling of undeserving, is that something to think about? All right, I'll shut up now. Okay, so this again was a general message. If it didn't resonate with you, sorry. And if you would like a personal reading, something that would be specific to a question that you have, or your zodiac sign, your natal chart, things like that, then please feel free to email me at mimimemes@hotmail.com. You can find that email address in the description box below this video. If you have questions about this reading, then include them in the comment section below the video. I'd be happy to engage in a banter back and forth about it, or respond to any questions. I didn't pull a cartouche for you just because I think that these bonuses that popped out really were the clarification that we needed. Don't be too selfless all the time. It's a beautiful thing about you, but it can also deplete you because you've got battles to come in your goals, in who you are, and changing the world. It's your age that is either here, we're at the precipice of your age, or we're on it and in it in the vestibule. All right, I'll shut up. I will be doing a full moon in Virgo read for the collective, and then the next video will be around the 14th or the 15th, which will include all the zodiac signs for the latter half of the month of March. So until that time, I hope everything is going well, that you treat yourself well as you treat others well, and that you take care of yourself, and so that you can keep on to fight the good fight. You take care.